Hello, not here. Welcome back to Path of Exile. We are playing in the Hardcore Abyss League as a Volatile Dead Inquisitor, and today we're gonna run our very first on the map, tier 6 map, the Cemetery, which also is Shaper touched. So that's gonna be fun. And because I want to run it for the unlock, we're also gonna run it as a rare, though I must say this is not the most difficult one, but it does look pretty profitable. Some monsters have increased area of effect, that's going to be something to watch out for. Physical damage reduction on monsters does not affect us as an elemental build. Increased accuracy on monsters means, of course, they'll have a better chance hitting me. Their dodge chance, or my dodge chance, is unlucky. I'm not dodge based, so that doesn't really matter. And I've got slightly reduced area of effect, which is gonna be a little annoying, but not something I cannot overcome. Also, I made a small change to the build. We now have our Shaper touched gloves in use. And it is housing Cremation. I moved it from my boots to the gloves. This one now has been amplified with a level 16 blind, and we have a 5% global chance to blind enemies on a hit. So it's not just Cemetery or not just Cremation that has a blind chance. It just has more blind chance, but also Volatile Dead hits, shield chargers, and basically anything that hits it can now blind as well. So hopefully no enemies blinded have a 50% chance to miss, which is interesting because the Cemetery makes enemies more accurate, but there's going to be a nice mix in between there. I couldn't get it to run blue, green. I ended up with a red, so the greater multiple projectiles is out and life leech is back in. So we got an extra layer of survivability here, and Cremation, it now does 2500 damage on average per hit. It shoots 4 projectiles. With every cast, it casts twice per second. So potentially that is 8 projectiles times 2500 damage. That's still 20,000 points of damage per second that we're leeching 2% of the damage off of. So, with a bit of luck, that's gonna help us stay alive even longer. So let's dive in. So earlier this evening I was running the Burial Hills, and I was actually kind of confusing that one with this one, because I was wondering, was that the one with the witch in the end? Spoiler, Burial Hill is indeed the one with the witch in the end. Or is it the one with the scary bear in the cave? Which I think this one is. And I actually did think of that scary bear in the cave. That's a little like Gruffkull, but then again, also not. Well, this one is called Light's Bane, and it does boost the soul of Gruffkull, so there's a bit of a family resemblance to them, so to say. Hello there, Rakango. Goodbye, Rakango. Okay, a bunch of purple dogs. Solar Elementals, and oh hello there, have you built? Belt of the Deceiver. Let's see, nearby enemies are intimidated, bonus to all elemental resists, bit of life, take reduced extra damage from crits, this is a lot actually, and 20% global crit damage. Global physical damage, it's not even crit damage, it's a global phys. It's actually a decent build now. I think it used to have a pretty severe downsides in a world where no longer all uniques had downsides, because I think at some point back in the ancient past of Path of Exile, all uniques had downsides, and then they stopped doing that, and then the ones with downsides just looked really meh and unusable compared to the ones that didn't have downsides anymore. So I think in 3.0 most of the uniques actually got overhauled to just get rid of most of their downsides.
An orb of immense power.
Or at least the ones that were just so infrequently used that they might as well not exist. Because of course, some of them have downsides that are just a source of creative build-arounds. Well, the Heartbound Loop, for example, comes to mind, that deals damage to you whenever one of your minions dies. Okay. Oh, stop trying to murder me. Thank you. Okay. Also, we have an essence up there, but I'd like to be slightly orderly about how I'm gonna go through the level. And that is, just stick to the edges and at some point just paint in the bits where I haven't been. Instead of just going more or less just straight through the middle of the map and then getting lost in the process about what I have and have not yet cleared. So, I now have a little bit of life leech again. I already had a little bit of life leech, of course, in the molten shell. Whenever it explodes, it does leech 2% of all the damage that it deals as life, thanks to a linked life leech there. But now Cremation has it again. Back in the early days of the builds, it also had life leech, simply because I didn't really have anything better to put in. GMP turned out, it has more projectiles, so it triggers the crits better. Therefore, triggers elemental overload a little bit more reliably. That was one of the things that was important at some point. But we're now doing just such a ridiculous amount of damage that even without elemental overload, we don't really need it. Hey, Barrows. It used to be a tier zone. It's now tier 5. It got downgraded. I think Barrows is one of the other maps with an angry Roa at the end. I never even bothered to check if the angry Roa at the end maps even have different names, or if they're really just both with angry Roas that are the same things. Additional rare, that's not too bad, and an ice nova, sure. Oh, they hurt, and I got kind of stuck behind the chest there. Original intention was to actually just get out before it hit me. Right, so, cleared around most of the area here, a little unexplored. Oh, this is sloppy. Edges of reality are just overlapping with air. It looks sloppy. No, it doesn't really matter, because now it's just effectively a different opinion of reality asserting itself there. No, Shaper's opinion of reality. And the Shaper thinks, well, it should be stars here. He wants air there? No way, no way. There's no air there, there's no holes there, there's just stars.
An orb of immense power.
That's it, something I started talking about and I got distracted, as I'm kind of often doing, getting distracted. That's the life leech from the, what you gonna call it? Well, let's not be in the explosions. Life leech from the cremations is only gonna be useful when my energy shield is gone and I'm below max life. But it's a nice little bonus on top of all the life regeneration that we already have going on here. Okay, and that does fill up my pockets. So let's just, for change, just empty pockets here. And then we're just gonna move on. Currency items, of course, I can put in here. Good. And then there's more items. There are just so many items here. I've just stopped picking up everything. It's funny. Now, early in the league, I'm always very happy just pick up everything that drops. And at some point, I reached that threshold of like, I don't really care that much anymore about the item drops. I don't need a gazillion orbs of alchemy since I'm not gonna 6-link that item myself. Still waiting for the item to actually 6-link, so it doesn't really matter. And I become a little bit more relaxed about things. Okay, that one was hexproof. That's mean. Okay, also, not a big fan of those explosion things that you're doing. Oh, also, someone killed my golem. Baskets. It's really mean to kill someone's golem. Okay, something is dropping meteors. That never really feels like a good thing to tank either, though. Huh? Damage is all up to scale, shouldn't be too bad, but still, they're meteors. So you kind of have a natural reflex not to get hit on your head by meteors, since it is just bad for you. Hello there, fingerless silk gloves. Actually, those are not bad base types for gloves. Okay, 21 mobs remaining. You know what? We're gonna just quickly clear out whatever remains on the above world here. Open up the final trunks, things like that, and then we're gonna go into the boss fight. Knowing that whatever we did, the world above is clear of monsters and everything else is down there. So there's gonna be one boss and 20 add-ons. The boss is, if things are still the same and I'm still remembering it correctly, boss is gonna be a big bear. It's gonna be pretty dark down there, it's gonna be a bit of a cave. And the boss is just gonna charge up and down. So it's basically has its own shield charge and it's just gonna charge from wall to wall. No aiming at me, so I'll have to be mobile. But the Decoy Totem is always a very eager subject to be charged at. Oh, there's even the Grathcool shadow things. That's not so good. Wow, that's Grathcool itself actually. That's okay. I'm scared now. I'm properly scared. Grathcool is scary. On the other hand, she's also incredibly blinded, thanks to my new Shaper power. Oh, scary portal? Oh wait. Shaper charging or challenging. The Elder challenging the Shaper. Oh yes, of course. That's people said this would happen. First time we do a tier 6 map. The Elder is going to make an appearance. Is it already visible on the map? Oh, not yet. Interesting. So nothing visible here. Maybe we need to hand in the memory fragments. Either way, that was interesting. So does it say? A golden machine was found broken in the ruins of Rayclast. Believing it to contain some dark, infernal secret, High Templar Venarius asked that I restore it and weaponize whatever powers it might contain. This sounds like the Shaper. Our Shaper, that is. Okay, Zana. It's probably going to be some voiceover stuff. Let's listen. I'll take the efforts to listen to Zana.
I've not been entirely honest. I'd suspected my father was involved in all of this. Now this memory fragment proves his engagement in ways I hadn't anticipated. I'm sorry for keeping the truth from you. I was worried that had you known the truth, you would not have followed me into this nightmare. Let's start over. I need your help. My memory is cloudy, but I'll tell you all I can recall. When I was a child, my father and I, we were separated. I was told he was lost to that unearthly realm when the Atlas closed and the men who feared it took it apart. I spent my whole life trying to track down its pieces and repair his machine. A few years ago, I did just that. But now that we've found him, something is not right. My father was a kind, temperate man, a good person, and a loving human being. Nothing like that thing you just saw. Please, take this. I found it while exploring. Hopefully it'll smooth things over. And if you continue to help me, I'll promise I'll find a way to make it all worth your while.
And that is how we now obtain Shaper Orbs. Upgrade a tier 1 map on the Atlas by 5 tiers.
This thing, it appears to have been feeding on my father's memories. Should it eat its fill, he will be merely a hollowed out husk, a wraith and nothing more. Unless, if we were to locate more of these memory fragments, then perhaps we could restore his mind to him and free him from this nightmare. This other creature complicates things, however. It is alien, yet to me it seems somehow familiar, like a bad dream once forgotten. All I remember is a sense of malevolent dread. It must be stopped, whatever it is. It seems to bleed decay into the surrounding areas. If that voracious mold that grows from its very shadow were to ever find its way into Oriath or Rayclast, we cannot let that happen.
That was a capitalized decay. So that's really, really serious decay. And now we have tentacles on the map. So barrows, cemetery, bone crypts, and toxic sewers have been touched by the Elder rather than the Shaper. So now the wars are gonna start, and we'll have to see. I think there was something with if you clear a map adjacent to something that has been corrupted by something, then it's gonna spread. So that's gonna be something to find out in the next episodes. For now, I'm gonna thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.